Last time, we got to see the murder happen. And it wasn't that much of a mystery, now was it? No, in fact, everything seemed to be planned out well ahead of time. So what was even the point of that whole framing story? Well, it was a show. It was an act put on for me to try to get me to continue on in the story, to see everybody's individual sagas. And now, you know, that we've sort of dropped the entire pretense of there being a murder mystery, I need to still be very invested in this because I have a key role to play. We also saw in the Lazarus storyline that the player themselves is supposed to be a character in this game. So I guess what I'm saying is, David Cage, take notes. This is a very weird and convoluted game. I actually really like that about it. In addition to everything else, too, it's become clear, especially with the Lazarus storyline, that these are not good people. No, and even though Irving might be worse, are they really justified in what they're doing? Well, I guess I don't really have a choice now, do I? Because I've kind of become a co-conspirator in this entire thing by saying that I wasn't satisfied with the story's conclusion. And now we're getting into the real part of the hacks. No. No, not at all. Oh, this is also an entirely new area that I'm going to be going to. Yeah, it's funny that you'd think that all of the times the characters were talking like, hey, you know, we're not supposed to know each other, like Lazarus and the Weasel Kid. It's like, no, it wasn't for the other people in the bar. It was for you, the player character. Because they didn't want you to leave. They wanted you... Oh, you can just sit right back down. I thought I was going to actually, you know... Yeah, there we go. Because it's like... The entire game is about manipulating you into getting invested into the story so that you're not going to abandon it. What a wild way to go about doing the game. It's really, in some ways, just a more refined version of the Lost Souls story from Pony Island, but... Again, it's so convoluted and weird that I really like it. Hello? Well, anyway, got one more. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I gotta go get the, should probably go get the headlamp first. Right. Oh, wait a second. I'm not actually supposed to go in that area. I'm supposed to go over here. Because, yeah, I forgot Rust had the headlamp. So, he's up on the top of the building here. Ah. Puzzles. In fact, again, like a very Pony Island type of puzzle on top of that, too. Okay. I see. Well, just start shoving everything in here. I mean, well, sort of. Does that even do anything aside from give me whatever this is? Some kind of a trophy? But anyway. Okay. It's sort of weird that now that we're starting to get some real big revelations and see exactly what's going to be happening that... okay. Sort of. Weird how this works. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense then. By the way, I can't quite see what's on those books. Maybe I'll do a close-up during the whole secret-y type of area. All right, so I guess the idea here is that it's supposed to be going behind the bookcase in a way that you can't really see. And then I'm booting up this very old-looking computer. Still not entirely clear. Still not entirely clear what year or anything this is supposed to be taking place after all. I don't know if that is just happens to be some old technology or what, but well, I guess I got to put down the key, right? Okay, no. Not that. Oh, and there we go. Perfect. Yep, that's that. This is exactly what I expected to have happen. Yep. No, this was well prepared well ahead of time. This entire hex thing. This entire ridiculous plot in the first place. Now we're in. It's just called Walk. It's like, oh, come on. Lionel, you're getting pretty lazy with the development. I mean, you were already getting...
This is Lionel Snell. If you're hearing this, it's because you turned on the developer commentary for my latest game, my magnum opus, really, called Walk.
I can't... Like, there's commentary, and then there's subtitles, and this is... I mean, not subtitles, there's captions. These are captions. Well, we all knew it was coming, right? Let's hear a little bit more from Lionel himself.
Model of my childhood bedroom. This right here is where Super Weasel Kid was conceived. Take it in.
Yeah, I see Cooking Granny, big fan of that. Popper's root beer from the thing. Can't quite tell. That's the same sort of background that Daniel Mullins has in like his logo. See Mr. Shrewd there, Super Weasel Kid.
One of my favorite games at that age was Cooking Granny. I thought Chef Bryce was the coolest. You know how that turned out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you didn't overpower him to a ridiculous degree. Anything to say about the root beer? Were you just a fan of...
That weasel was my favorite pet. I called him... Yeah, you guessed it. Weasel Kid.
Makes sense. The bed... Got...
And that's Mr. Shrewd. The two always made little squeaks and chirps at each other. I like to imagine they were talking. Shrewd would be this wise parental figure giving advice to Weasel Kid.
Ah. Anything else?
My original plan for Walk was to have it be an almost non-interactive experience. Just allow the player to explore and contemplate. I did some market research though, and well, that kind of game was falling out of vogue. Not much money in it, so I jammed in some real gameplay. I thought that since this is about my life as a developer, why not show the player what it's like to make a game? I mean, this is like a way dumbed down version of the stuff I do, but to the average gamer it's a challenge.
So, Lionel is a character. We've heard a bit about him, and presumably saw him talking to Irving earlier, and... Now we're really getting into it, aren't we? Also, whoa, look at that mouse sensitivity. Is it a much dumbed down version?
I got the jumping code right and hooked it up to a keyboard button. Oh, that dopamine rush electrified my childhood brain.
Yes. The GameWorks assistant. I can't believe that Irving is supposed to be the equivalent of Clippy in this universe. And that is the...
Irving came as part of the GameWorks package. I was a little hesitant about using an AI at first, but he became really helpful.
Yeah, and I can understand that. Oh yeah, you gotta double click on these things to see how they work. Gameplay. All right. I mean, in some ways, I suppose I could.
It didn't take long to realize how much I depended on Irving. He assured me that it was easy for him to come up with enemies and non-player characters for me, so I let him do his job.
Lionel, did you do anything? Right. Okay. How do I actually, like... Well, it does say go... Oh, that's oh, that's supposed to be the keyboard key. I didn't really get that at first. I thought that was supposed to, like, mean, hey, press a button. Fortunately, it doesn't really go the right direction in some ways here. Ah, exactly. And there we go. Move horizontal,
Irvin
you
told me
say.
we couldn't get the original Super Weasel Kid for Walk. Something about losing the files. Kind of a shame, I guess.
There was that question of if characters are supposed to have free will back in the Lazarus section, and I think that the idea is probably supposed to be that they say you don't. Irving certainly does, though. Move to the right, sure. I mean, there's also not even other entities here, after all, so... Also, programming games again. Kind of interesting to see that make a comeback, after all. Well, I mean, does it really matter if entities... No, not that. Get off of there. There's not even one of those Goombas around here. Ah! You know, it's weird. You think about, like, how in that last episode I was playing the Lazarus section with, Did I already have, like, left or right on this one? No, I need a left on that one. There we go. Suppose I can also, like, hook this up here, too, if I really felt like it? Does it matter? Yeah, like, the stuff with, Oh. Yeah, the stuff with, like, how the different dimensions work, and just like, yeah, just go watch me play Parabox and imagine, and then go watch me play that. It's going to be a fun experience now, isn't it? Neat. And I guess I could, yeah, have hooked up multiple... Could have hooked up multiple entities to that, but I don't really know if there's too much point. Ah, now there's a point in doing it. Oh, and that was the other entity specifically, which is, when killed in the game, is, of course, represented by little X's over the eyes. And there we go. I suppose that works now, doesn't it? Now I just have to put the chains directly on Weasel Kid again. I'm sorry, Weasel Kid. It has to be this way. Yep. Nope. Okay. Hey, I didn't make the entity work for that.
The success of Super Weasel Kid paralyzed me. I tried starting a few different games, but I kept comparing them to my big hit. What would people think if I put out something that was worse? That I had just gotten lucky the first time? That I'm a one-trick pony? Eventually, I settled on making a sequel. Super Weasel Kid, Radical Road.
Which, I mean, hey, was met with moderate success. Yeah. Oh, no. There you go.
Mr. Shrewd was getting older, both in Radical Road and real life. The older I got, though, the less I really cared.
Anything else around here to look at?
I tried to learn guitar, but I couldn't motivate myself to practice. There was something about the immediacy of game development that I couldn't get out of that thing.
The immediacy of... I mean, I guess when you have Irving helping you. Because otherwise... I cannot believe that Lionel was over here and just, like, creating games without any sort of design document. I guess he did make some levels, but evidently not that many if he's talking about the immediacy here.
I'd been playing a lot of fighting games at that age. Always loved those. I wanted to make one, but I wasn't quite as talented as I would become. So that's why I just had to add combat to Radical Road.
Okay, once again... I know that this guy is this guy, but are they really justified in doing this so far? Because I think we all see where the hex is going right now. Oh, not allowing me to add parameters anymore, eh? And now... getting a little bit more complicated. Like, a little bit. Hopefully I don't completely ruin it. Like you completely misunderstand the gameplay like I did in Lazarus section.
I thought it was just exhilarating to beat the shit out of that Grunda. But the critics really came down on me for that part. It left me feeling like I had no idea what people wanted.
This guy. Oh yeah, I just noticed that it's like, yeah, there's like an entire little readout debugging thing on the bottom there. Yo, nobody gonna mention that the Jeremiah is also in here too?
Radical Road was met with mixed reviews, and it made me panic. I resolved to put away Super Weasel Kid forever and try something new.
Oh, Scott, what if you're rid of your window?
Shrew died.
Don't do that. Don't put that unhappy face in there. Don't decolon to me, young man.
Mr. Shrewd was long dead at this point. Shrews just don't live that long. Weasel Kid actually escaped, if you can believe it. I took him outside one time, and he slipped out of my hands and ran into my neighbor's rose garden. I searched for hours, but the garden was pretty big, and the thorns were painful.
Okay. It's very, very meaningful sort of metaphors going on here. If that also isn't like literally exactly what happened.
I'd get emails once in a while, people asking to make deals, wanting to capitalize on my IP. It had been a couple of years now since Radical Road, and one day I just said, fuck it, fine. I sold the franchise to the highest bidder.
Ah, yes. And there's where Game Funa comes in. As we just, as you do. I mean, why not? Look, you don't always have to like the hustle, but you gotta respect the hustle, right? Attribution and integrity and other moral rights of the author. Is that a thing? I don't remember that being a thing in most, well, anyway, maybe that is actually a thing. Man, this is an entire... Oh, wow, $2.5 million. Nice. Yo, you got like bank for that. But of course, it is also supposed to be like Mario, so I don't know. Maybe you could have even gotten more. I'm just saying. I'm going to be honest, even though I've worked in like a legal context before, didn't really do too much like wheeling and dealing in the corporate world. Don't really know how accurate this is. New York County, New York. Huh. Well, now we know where this is taking place. Bruh. Yeah? Yeah? Okay.
When I saw what they did with Super Weasel Kid, I felt a little part of myself die. But I was 18 years old and loaded. It was actually one of the best years of my life.
Well, I think that answers a little bit more about Pony Island then.
Is based on my foray into larger scale game development. The plan, make a fighting game. Not everyone remembers, but I started the Combat Arena franchise. Those guys working on it now merely inherited it.
This guy. This guy. All right, well, I do have hands after all.
Just jump a little bit higher. You're almost there.
Oh, yeah, first-person perspective jumping.
Anyways, as I was saying, I don't get
Real
nearly
talented.
enough credit for starting one of the most popular fighting game franchises in history.
Okay, I gotta admit, yes. Lionel Snill is clearly an incredibly impressive guy in this context, but still. I also gotta remember Irving was there too.
I put my Weasel Bucks to use and bought this place with cash. Then I hired a team.
Ah, yeah.
I hired my childhood friend Carla to work at my new studio. She was halfway through a degree in computer science, but I offered her a huge salary. Hard to say no to that.
Yeah, so we got to see a little bit of Carla. Carla has been mentioned before back in Secrets of Legendaria. Who apparently was still working on the game, at least at that point. Wow, Bryce was really just like the face of Combat Arena. He didn't even originally come from that game. Yeah? Yeah, that's another thing. What is the deal with Sado? Doesn't seem to have too much to do with the plot, you know, what with sort of more of an agent of chaos and everything, but still.
Carla's first order of business was to tell me that I had designed too many male characters. I tried to tell her that Steambot Willie was genderless, but
Always
she
with the Steambot
insisted.
Willie.
So I created Chandrell while she worked on Sado.
Oh, it's Sado. I always thought it was Sado. But yeah, like Sado, like sadomasochism sort of thing. Also used to just straight up be in a... Wow. Anything got toned down over time.
That eye.
These
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Ever since Carla created Sado, I'd get these weird, annoying bugs in my games. And I'm still getting them in Walk.
Yeah. That is weird. I think I'm starting to see a little bit of the influence that Sado has had on the general thing. And of course, they were unleashed by me. You know, as you do. How can I not like... Oh, right. You gotta go from this direction here first. So you just can't even like... Oh yeah, let's just hook up... Let's just hook up Sado to the evil eye in this world of living. I think I might understand. Well, then again, it's like they started to appear when Sado was created. So remember, it's not necessarily one over the other. What a very weird thing.
Not exactly sure what Carla did while she was creating Sado. She told me some mumbo-jumbo about pushing GameWorks to its limits. That character was eerie, to say the least.
Yeah, I'll say. And once again, I of course did unleash them upon the world again. Great. Well, once again, I did say that I know I was going to be unleashing some sort of evil out here. Also, are you sure you want to be admitting to creating this character in this game here, Lionel?
Look at that door. That's exactly what it looked like in real life.
Pixelated?
Antique, hand-carved, gold nameplate. I was hiring people who were twice my age. I had to make sure they understood who was in charge.
I think I'm starting to see why you took the advertisement in Secrets of Legendaria too. Also, of course, he's immediately looking at like what the stocks are and everything in his very room. Chandro, alligator there, and of course, Steambot Willie was one of the first created characters. We all know that he's the real star of the show.
First glimpse into the, well, to be frank, the stupidity and immaturity of gamers. Every damn day we got complaints about how this or that character was overpowered, underpowered, too boring. Ugh, I never wanted to work on a fighting game again.
Okay, I mean... I don't have any. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, look, it even looks like Steambot Willie. Again, the true star here. But, I mean, I know what's about to happen. Ah, here we go. Right. How do I even do this then, right? Oh, no. Right. That works. Just got to let the AI figure this out. And Dan Man right there, of course. Fine. It'll be... You know, in some ways, though, after seeing like how some people react to patch notes, I can sort of understand. That said, Lionel is still just the worst. He's just the worst. Again, are they justified, though? Yeah. What is that icon? Fine, what if I just kind of like... 4. I mean, this is how balancing works, you know. I don't know if we should really be hooking up stuff to the evil eyeballs. I'm just saying. Expletive. Oh. Well, unfortunately, I think I need to give the expletive to a villain from a Kirby game, so, you know. And also hook him into the Darknet. As you do. Well, as I'm doing right now.
I have to admit, though, coding the punches and kicks was everything I had hoped it would be. I'd sit in my office for hours just watching these characters go to town on each other. Sometimes they'd look like they could actually feel
it. Well, Lionel, you do have, you know, direct line over to Irving, and I feel like he should have told you. Yeah, that works. And I feel like he should have told you about this. You know, about how the game works actually functions. I'll be honest here, the blocking is not that powerful. Okay, fine. What now? Like, do I even have something that could be considered an ultimate move in here? No. Is Irving... Wait, was Irving considered a character inside of the... Neat. Was Irving considered a character even inside of Combat Arena? I guess he liked fighting now, didn't he? So, what are you gonna do, really? All right, well, I guess I'm okay with hooking the Sado corruption into itself. I don't see how that could go wrong in any way. Hit him with the U. Of course. Irving.
Ugh, God, it was such a relief to ship that game. I hated it by the end.
You're lucky you didn't ship it.
It turned to gold. I still had my contract with Game Funa, so I sold the franchise for another boatload of cash.
Cash, of course, being spelled out here with $3 signs. Chandro, yeah, alligator. Anything new happening in this room otherwise? Got a couch. Something behind the couch. Then we're doing secrets later. It's actually kind of cute that he still kept the cage, even though Weasel Kid is no longer in there. Also kind of weird where you have to explain to everybody why you keep an empty cage in your office the entire time. Unless... You know, being a first-person game, I thought I could just press control.
My studio was bigger, richer, unstoppable. It was time to take on something huge. An epic fantasy adventure that only a studio like mine could accomplish. This is when I made Secrets of Legendaria.
So it is Legendaria. I mean, I guess I thought so. I'm honestly surprised that these aren't just root beer. It's appear to be some sort of like Heineken? I don't know. Everybody having a good time, though. Yes, Secrets of Legendaria, which got to see it.
I had been pushing the team really hard to finish the game, but see? I rewarded them sometimes. Carla and I were no longer friends. Actually, that might be putting it lightly. We hated each other. Her ego was just too big to stand in the shadow of my greatness.
This guy. Stream will begin soon. Yeah. So I can see on that point. How do I actually...
I put everything into that game. I hired the best programmers, the best designers. I burned through my fortune fast. But this game was going to be epic, goddammit. I paid the biggest gaming streamer to play it live, with hundreds of thousands watching.
Sure, what do we got? How much did Lionel actually do during this? Oh. Is that just a switch?
Yeah, you like that switch mechanic? Pretty cool, huh? Still got it.
Amiably? Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm doing well. I guess. Well, I'm doing faceless and unable to express emotions. As you do. Yes, I mean, it's all very simple. I'm going to go hook up... Well, first off, I got to go get the eyeballs out of here, as you do. It's an interesting way to represent bugs in video games. That's what I'm going with. Definitely not, again, eldritch corruption that is being caused by forces perhaps beyond the reckoning of man or God. Get out there, Rebecca. Oh, well, we could have got Steambot Willie. What about Steambot Willie? And we saw what happened to the... We also did see pretty clearly what happened to the Smith in town as well. Which, in... Neat. Which was still kind of a weird thing. Was the implication there that... Yeah. Was the implication there that the Smith had, like, created the artifact in the first place? Or what? Whatever, just give me hit all and then, you know, really crank up the volume on this one. Good enough. Like, come on. If that is not enough to take out this slime, you're a mechanic. Just cast fire. No. I'm sort of unimpressed, I gotta say. Fine. I'll do the actual thing. Here, let me... Oh. Huh. Ah. Can I not? Okay, apparently it does not want to. Lionel! Your bugs are garbage. I can see the eyeball thing is still not working super well. All right. Well, definitely going to want to probably do this. Did every one of the other I guess if every one of the other programmers was also working with, say, the, and that's the bit. If every one of the other programmers is also working with the game works, then I suppose that they also probably had to deal with the fact that, yeah, eldritch corruption in the entire video game and everything. Lionel still appeared to have, say, ruined video games maybe entirely if everybody's using this engine. But then again, one of the biggest game industries is owned by Satan, so... What are you going to do? He's owned by gamer Satan. See, it just goes to show you. Can't trust large corporations or indie games. Video games are terrible. We should all stop playing them. There we go. So you got level 2 and everything. Do I have to go create a level 2 thing?
But things took a terrible turn for the
Yeah?
worst right near the end. It was chaos.
Yeah? Well, fighting Valimir here, so it might be, yeah, a little bit of an issue. Also, oh my god, what is going on here? I wonder how much more of the game there technically would have been if... Perfect. How much more of the game that there technically could have been if we got to see the rest of it. It's supposed to be like Ender Vale at some point in time, evidently. Crit boost 100. And I guess the idea is that I got to go get that over there. So then, let's go start hooking the ye old corruption into stuff here. Cool. Throw that one back in there. Get the crit boost over here. Good. Down here. And now finally get a slightly reprieve from what might end video games as a whole. Can't do it anymore. Can I do it less? I can if I really wanted to. Why would I want to do that? Why would you want to do anything except for max out the entirety? All right. Set it up, baby. Surely with the whole mass hit thing. Could be worse, really. See, look at that. I guess it's not actually Valimir. That's a spawn of Valimir. No fun, No? Can I actually do this? I think I might be able to actually do this. See, getting the whole AoE attack, you might have scoffed at that originally, but now who's scoffing?
Secrets of Legendaria bombed. Carla had left bugs in there intentionally to sabotage me. It must have been that, because everything went wrong. And everyone saw it live. The game had no hope of recouping costs, so I took funds from the severance packages and ran. I couldn't even afford my apartment.
What the heck? Lionel!
I went south to find some cheaper real estate.
Oh, onto the couch.
Living in the desert was a miserable experience. I blasted the AC all day, but I was somehow always sweating. I started working on Waste World here. It was supposed to be my great comeback.
Okay.
I would wake up.
Lionel is definitely a
sit in front of
huge
my
heel.
computer and just stare at the screen with my hands beside the keyboard. After about an hour of that, I'd blow off the rest of the day playing some online game.
Ah. Yeah, this is like legitimately from Pony Island. Okay, so I guess he was represented as a hat in here,
Sure,
as
I'd
wearing a
sometimes
hat in
accomplish
here.
something, but then I'd reward myself with some social media time and would wind up reading articles about myself. They weren't kind to me.
Now that's
I never
probably a
finished
mistake.
Waste World. I wanted this area of walk to reflect that experience, so I left it half finished. That also saved me some development time.
Okay, yes, Lionel is a huge heel, but like
I'm
really,
pretty sure half of those levels were unbeatable, but I just didn't care anymore.
well, I mean, you could have just left it up to the community, but hey, there's the root beer. Yeah, Danny. I mean, I think that compared to some of the other encounters that you had in that game, especially looking at hardcore mode, well, that's not even a real mode. That was created by Sado because,
I don't get along that well
evil.
with other people. Carla wasn't even a close friend, but I think she might have been my only one.
Still kept the ducky. Still kept that duck that constantly made the zwee sound from Pony Island. Oh, thought I saw something.
The heat of that godforsaken place. Most days it kept me inside.
Oh, there are actual enemies in here. I mean, does it really matter? But I don't even have an attack. I barely even have like a body here. Hey, is there anything I can do at all? No. Pioneer, futurist, creator of Super Weasel Kid. This guy. Well, is there anything that I can do when it comes to, like, say, using this computer already? Because I could really use, say, some abilities there. Alright, well.
Somehow,
maybe
the
there
more
is stuff.
I needed to
Oh, there we
finish
go.
that game, the more I avoided doing it. My parents would call every once in a while to ask how it was going, but I'd just lie.
Okay, look, we already did this in Pony Island. I'm not gonna do it again. Ah, I see. This is getting, you know, now that I'm thinking about this is getting a lot closer to The Witness of all things compared to. All right. All right, you gotta go around here. Well, with the whole, like, this is straight out of the castle puzzles that you would have in that game. Why do you have the little reticle over there? That's so hokey. Yeah. Sure, we didn't get the. Sure, he doesn't get this when he's otherwise.
Final straw was those idiotic modders. They took my half-finished game and made a goddamn mockery of it. Aliens in a post-apocalyptic Wild West. It made no sense. If I couldn't finish the game myself, I sure as hell wasn't going to let them do it for me.
Okay. The idea that he would, like, what is he, Nintendo? Nobody can make fan games of my stuff. I'm the only one that knows how to create my franchise.
It was just what I needed to bring those lowlives to task. Those gormless basement dwellers were going to pay whatever
Thank you, Jeremiah. Yes, I know. This is not even for the player character. This is for me. Look, I don't like this. But I'll do it. I'll do it.
And that's how I programmed the blood particles. I think it really contributed to the visceral pleasure of Vicious Galaxy 2, making it the obvious standout in the series. My only gripe with the game is the designs of the main characters. Too old. Everyone wanted the same boring space marines from Vicious Galaxy 1.
Yeah, and I'm just like noticing, right? It's just like, did you just steal the aliens from the mods? What a this guy. But also, I did say before that we were going to see that yes, Vicious Galaxy was actually supposed to be Doom.
Data was lost. I had to create a new squad of player characters from scratch after that.
Oh yeah, I wonder how that happened. I don't know. I don't know how that could have possibly happened.
Told me that I might be in danger. Danger from what?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, and here is the thing that was in the basement of the tavern too.
And now we find
Did
ourselves
see saw that
at
in the game
climax
works in
of
somewhere.
Walk. The player has to use everything they've learned to solve the ultimate puzzle and arm the bomb. Go on, you can do it.
And what, you didn't want to put in patronizingly? Anyway. Interesting. All right, and I keep forgetting what place you can actually hook on to stuff here. All right. Start out easy then, eh? Well, there's one, but that's clearly not the way you want to start out here. Although, actually, even more than that, he did also use the word gormless, which I do want to point out, just like real quick, because who says gormless? Anyway, no, that's not quite enough. You do need to kind of get everything at once now, don't you? So what if I instead? Oh yeah. What is? Yep, that'll do. That's sort of what I was thinking, but I wasn't really able to get the dual stuff working there for me.
This probably looks
For a second.
daunting.
Oh yeah.
Switches, those creepy eye things, and a splitter all in one puzzle. But it's the last one, I promise.
Okay, yeah. So you just want to keep it locked onto. Yeah, you just want to keep it locked onto the other eyeball up there. I'm not quite sure what the other one here was supposed to do for me then, which is kind of strange. Maybe I scrolled out the puzzle. I don't know. That's always a possibility. Cool.
You know, I had to lower the difficulty of that puzzle like 10 times before the average player could solve it. But great job, you figured it out. You win.
Lionel, it didn't take that long. I just... Look, Lionel, I had to cut out like a minute of footage to do it.
And that brings us to the present. Well, I should say, the near future. The other indie games coming out right now are crap, so Walk is a shoo-in for Game of the Year. This scene is a little glimpse into what's to come.
Oh yeah, and there's the trophy saw earlier. Is terrible. Lionel is terrible, but I gotta say, he didn't know. He doesn't know that he doesn't know that Jeremiah and everybody else are. He says they're pawns, but doesn't know that they're.
Thanks for playing, I guess.
Actually, sapient and everything.
At this point, you just have to walk toward the white.
They
door
don't
frame
even
in
know
the
that.
And hey.
This is thank you for pointing out that it is very clearly white door frame.
My story was as much an inspiration to you as it is to me. This is Lionel Snill, signing off. Did you get all that? All right, good. Let's get out of here.
What? That's not how that works. You just throw it in Audacity and cut out the. Oh my God, this guy. All right, this is Gabe Newell here. So what are we doing now? I'm guessing that this is probably set up. Oh.
Weasel Kid was not my first game. That was my first game.
Also, developer confession area I just saw there. Yep. Yep. Still using the Goombas, eh? Yeah, you got Jeremiah there. You got the barkeeper. I mean, that is, of course, one of the... That is, of course, one of the... oh, do we need to pump it? That's what the deal is. One of the big mysteries of the game, which is how does, like, the barkeeper... and Steamboat Willie, of course. Because Steamboat Willie is going to appear in every single one of the games, regardless of if you like it or not. Something of a play on, what is this, Tapper, I think? Kind of going with the, like, classic sort of games. Yep. Mm-hmm. I like this game. I like this game a lot. It is weird and convoluted and bizarre and super hokey in a lot of ways, but I gotta say that it is I can't even think of any other game that has tried to incorporate the player as a character and actually made it feel like, you know, you knew that this was coming. Especially with the idea that the player character is supposed to be an evil person as well. It is a very goofy game, and I feel like it does get lost a little bit in between Pony Island and Inscription, especially. But it is also, I think, just so weird and convoluted and everything and how everything worked. That it is still a lot of fun. But of course, I'm also somebody who just likes when something does something new or interesting or weird. And we're not even done, of course, because, well, there are a number of different secrets that I still have yet to do. I gotta go get all of the many, open up each one of the, open up each one of the soda machines. Got to go and gotta go and to get the coins in like Weasel Boy and everything. And then there's a bunch of stuff that we're going to eventually see about Sado. That, of course, is something that did not really end up, you know, factoring into the main story. Like I said, Sado is more of an agent of chaos than anybody that had much to do with the storyline. But at the same time, is still a lot more to learn about there. The barkeep's hand. Like you get a credit specifically for that. Created with the GameWorks. At the behest of Irving. I don't think he deserved it. Yeah. And the game just closed. Well, next time. Daniel Mullins, after Pony Island, was, let's just say, emboldened to really make some of the secrets and the ARG stuff something that people could really dig into. So it's going to be an interesting experience.